The distress beacon pierced through the void of space like a dying star's last gasp. Luna's fingers danced across the holographic interface aboard the UES Prometheus, her violet eyes narrowing as she decoded the alien transmission. The message was desperate, crude even by galactic standards, but its meaning was unmistakable. "Edward," she called across the bridge, her voice cutting through the ambient hum of the ship's systems. "We've got something. Multiple systems all broadcasting the same SOS. It's the Centuri Alliance." Commander Edward Kane straightened in his captain's chair, his weathered face betraying years of combat in the outer colonies. He knew that name. The Centuri Alliance. A coalition of 7 alien species who had once declared humanity too dangerous to join the Galactic Council. They had called humans Deathworlders, creatures spawned from a planet so hostile that it had forged them into something terrifying. "What's the situation?" Edward asked, moving to stand beside Luna at the communications console. She pulled up the decoded message, and the translation matrix worked its magic. The words appeared in standard English, but the terror behind them was universal. "This is Archon Velthar of the Centuri Alliance. We are under assault by the Krell swarm. Our defenses have failed. Our worlds burn. To any who can hear this transmission, we beg for sanctuary, for protection, for mercy. We are dying." Edward's jaw tightened. The Krell swarm, a hive-minded species that consumed entire worlds, leaving nothing but barren rock in their wake. The Alliance had been warned about them 15 years ago. Humanity had offered to help fortify their borders. The Alliance had refused, calling humans warmongers and violence addicts. Now they were begging. "How long until we reach their core systems?" Edward asked. Luna's fingers flew across the console. "At maximum FTL 18 hours. But Edward," she hesitated, her expression troubled. "The fleet isn't designed for this. We're an exploration vessel with limited combat capabilities. We'd need the armada." Edward reached for the emergency comm channel, the one that connected directly to Earth's high command. He pressed his hand against the biometric scanner. "This is Commander Edward Kane of the UES Prometheus, authorization code Delta 7 Echo, requesting immediate deployment of the Deathworlder protocol. The Centuri Alliance is under Krell assault and has issued a galaxy-wide distress call." The response came in less than 3 seconds. Admiral Chen's gruff voice crackled through. "Confirmed, Commander. The Armada deploys in 30 minutes. You have operational command, and Kane, make them remember why they feared us. The channel closed." Luna stared at Edward, her eyes wide. "The whole Armada? That's 300 warships. That's overkill." Edward's expression was grim. "No, Luna, that's a message." 18 hours later, the human Armada dropped out of FTL space at the edge of Centuri Prime, the Alliance's capital world. What they found was carnage. Krell bioships, massive organic monstrosities that pulsed with sickly green light, swarmed around the planet like locusts. The orbital defense stations were gone, reduced to debris. Atmosphere processors burned in the upper stratosphere. On the planet's surface, billions of Centauri civilians huddled in underground shelters, praying to gods who had abandoned them. "All ships, Battle Formation Omega," Edward commanded, his voice steady despite the horror before him. "Target the bioships. Luna, broadcast on all frequencies. Tell the Centauri to get deep and stay deep." Luna's hands trembled as she opened the channel. "Centuri Alliance, this is the human Armada. Take shelter. Reinforcements have arrived." The response from the planet was immediate. Disbelief, then desperate hope, then something that sounded like weeping. The human ships moved as one, a coordinated dance of death that had been perfected through centuries of surviving on a planet that tried to kill them every single day. Railgun slugs traveling at relativistic speeds tore through Krell bioships. Fusion missiles detonated in chain reactions. Point defense lasers carved through swarms of boarding drones. The Krell had never faced humanity in full military deployment. They had evolved to overwhelm prey through sheer numbers, to drown enemies in endless waves. But humans had evolved on Earth, a world of ice ages and supervolcanoes, of predators and plagues, of extinction events that they had refused to accept. Humans didn't just survive. They conquered. Within 4 hours, the Krell presence around Centuri Prime was annihilated. Edward stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, watching as the last bioship was vaporized by concentrated plasma fire. Luna collapsed into her chair, exhausted, but alive. "They're hailing us. The Archon wants to speak with you." Edward nodded. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing Archon Velthar, a tall insectoid being with compound eyes that shimmered with tears. "Commander Kane," the Archon's voice was broken, humbled. "You came despite everything we said about your kind, despite how we treated you." Edward crossed his arms. "We came because it was the right thing to do. Because when someone calls for help, you answer. That's what humans do." The Archon bowed deeply, a gesture of profound respect in their culture. "We called you Deathworlders. Monsters born from violence. We were fools. You are not monsters. You are guardians." Edward allowed himself a small smile. "We're both. And that's exactly why you should have let us help you 15 years ago." Lana glanced at her commander, pride swelling in her chest. Humanity had been forged in fire, tempered by 1 billion years of survival on the most hostile planet in the known galaxy. And now when the galaxy needed them most, they had answered the call. Not with words of superiority, but with action, because that was the human way.